You remember exactly where you were on September 11th, 2001. We all do. But what if that day had just been like any other day in America? What if the warnings had been heeded, the intelligence connected, and 3,000 people had gone home to their families that night? This isn't conspiracy theory territory. This is about the documented intelligence failures, the missed opportunities, and the bureaucratic incompetence that made 9/11 possible. And what America would look like today if we'd gotten it right. The warnings were everywhere. The CIA knew something big was coming. The FBI had suspicious flight training reports. Foreign intelligence services were practically screaming that an attack was imminent. But agencies refused to share information, and egos got people killed. Here's what should have happened. In August 2001, when the CIA finally told the FBI about known al-Qaeda operatives already in the United States, competent agents would have found them within days, not ignored the memo. The flight schools reporting suspicious students who only wanted to learn how to fly, not land. That should have triggered immediate investigations. Instead, those reports sat in filing cabinets while terrorists perfected their plans. When Zacarias Moussaoui was arrested for suspicious flight training in Minnesota, connecting those dots to the other intelligence should have unraveled the entire plot. But bureaucratic turf wars were more important than national security. Imagine September 11th, 2001 as just another Tuesday. People go to work in the Twin Towers, take meetings, complain about coffee, and head home to their families. The Pentagon operates normally. Flight 93 lands safely in San Francisco. But here's what really would have changed. Without 9/11, there's no Patriot Act, no mass surveillance state, no TSA theater at airports, no Department of Homeland Security bureaucracy. Your privacy would still exist. The Iraq War never happens. No weapons of mass destruction lies. No destabilizing the Middle East. No ISIS emerging from the chaos. No Syrian refugee crisis. No endless war on terror that's consumed over $7 trillion and counting. Afghanistan would still be a backwater nobody cared about instead of a 20-year money pit that ended in humiliating defeat. Hundreds of thousands of lives would have been saved, and America's reputation wouldn't be destroyed. Your son or daughter might not have deployed to Iraq or Afghanistan. They might not have PTSD, missing limbs, or be among the veteran suicide statistics. Military families would have stayed intact instead of being destroyed by endless deployments. The economy would be fundamentally different. That $7 trillion spent on wars could have rebuilt American infrastructure, funded education, or stayed in taxpayers' pockets. Instead, it made defense contractors obscenely wealthy. Civil liberties would still exist. The government wouldn't be reading your emails, tracking your phone calls, or maintaining massive databases on every American citizen. The Fourth Amendment would mean something. Airport security would be normal instead of the humiliating security theater we endure today. You could arrive at airports 30 minutes before flights and bring liquids without being treated like a terrorist. Islamophobia wouldn't have poisoned American society. Millions of innocent Muslim Americans wouldn't have faced decades of suspicion, harassment, and hate crimes. Religious tolerance would have remained an American value. The defense budget wouldn't have exploded to consume over half of federal spending. That money could have gone to healthcare, education, infrastructure, the things that actually make Americans' lives better. But here's the controversial part. Preventing 9/11 might have prevented American decline. Without the security state, endless wars, and massive debt, America might still be the respected global leader it was in 2000. The political landscape would be completely different. George W. Bush would have been a forgettable one-term president remembered for tax cuts, not the architect of American empire. Obama might never have been president. Trump definitely wouldn't have been. Social media might have evolved differently without the fear and anger that 9/11 injected into American culture. The polarization, the conspiracy theories, the rage, much of it traces back to that day. Your retirement account would be worth more because defense spending wouldn't have crowded out productive investment. The federal debt wouldn't be crushing future generations to pay for wars that accomplished nothing. Border security would be reasonable instead of the militarized nightmare it became. Immigration might still be seen as American strength instead of existential threat. Here's what really hurts. The intelligence community knew this attack was coming. They had the pieces but refused to put them together because of bureaucratic politics and personal ambition. 3,000 people died because agencies wouldn't share information. Hundreds of thousands more died in the wars that followed. Trillions of dollars were wasted. Constitutional rights were shredded, all preventable. The America where 9/11 was prevented would be more prosperous, more free, more respected, and more true to its founding principles. We'd still be the beacon of democracy instead of a declining empire addicted to warfare. But we didn't prevent it. We ignored the warnings, failed to connect the dots, and let bureaucratic incompetence change the course of human history. Every time you stand in massive security lines at the airport, remember, this was all preventable. Every war, every surveillance program, every trampled right, it all traces back to one preventable intelligence failure. If you think 9/11 should have been prevented with the information we had, let me know in the comments. And subscribe if you want to explore more alternate timelines where competence might have changed everything.